Mauricio and Shadow. Bodyboarding por vida, and I shoot like tequila. The agua limpia, fresca, jugo tapina. No más carga, no más melía. Sí, estrictamente chronic insensimilla. Recuperado desde Chiva, despierto. Pesadilla, he visto la salida del sol, and I be following my soul every place that I go. The one thing that I know that helped me stay under control was that gordo, grasa, verde, green bowl. Cruza la frontera, entra a México, porque mi sueño me lavan algo bueno. We're gonna take them to the land's end, Los Cabos. Gonna take them to the land's end, to Los Cabos. Gonna take them to the land's end, Los Cabos. Gonna take them to the land's end, yeah, to Los Cabos. Da las gracias, mis hermanos, en el respeto a las reinas, el amor, los hinchianos, su edad, la tierra, el agua es sucia. En la playa largo, but this is the place I gotta go. In the place that I grew, down in Laguna, Luna Azul. And I be rolling with an international crew. Mi amigo de La Habano, Nader Dalul. And Senior Chadwick, y compa J Spliff, Jimbo, mi primo. En la Terna Mesa de DJ Cram, una comunidad de amor contra la guerra. Cause some things we're fighting for, supporting Mexico and not that drug war, drugstore. La salud natural, no hay días malos, siempre que ahora es. Gracias Miguel Omar Perez. We're gonna take them to the land's end, to Los Cabos. We're gonna take them to the land's end, yeah, to Los Cabos. Yeah, we're gonna take them to the land's end, to Los Cabos. We're gonna take them to the land's end, yeah, to Los Cabos. No friend, gracias. We're gonna take them down with no Baracuda. Uno, comunidad de amor. We're gonna take them to the land's end. 562, Los Cabos. Playa Largo. Gracias. Playa Largo. Paisa. De Los Cabos. De crucero con Manny Vargas y Pablo Roach to the most southern tip upon this west coast, a place where not too many people know or even go. You can ask Gregorio, Mauricio and Shadow. Bodyboarding por vida, and I shoot like tequila. The agua limpia, fresca, jugo tapina. No más carga, no más melía. Sí, estrictamente chronic insensimilla. Recuperado desde Chiva, despierto. Pesadilla, he visto la salida del sol, and I be following my soul every place that I go. The one thing that I know that helped me stay under control was that gordo, grasa, verde, green bowl. Cruza la frontera, entra a México, porque mi sueño me lavan algo bueno. We're gonna take them to the land's end, Los Cabos. Gonna take them to the land's end, to Los Cabos. Gonna take them to the land's end, Los Cabos. Gonna take them to the land's end, yeah, to Los Cabos. Da las gracias, mis hermanos, en el respeto a las reinas, el amor, los hinchianos, su edad, la tierra, el agua es sucia. En la playa largo, but this is the place I gotta go. In the place that I grew, down in Laguna, Luna Azul. And I be rolling with an international crew. Mi amigo de La Habano, Nader Dalul. And Senior Chadwick, y compa J Spliff, Jimbo, mi primo. En la Terna Mesa de DJ Cram, una comunidad de amor contra la.
Yeah. All right, all systems are go. Welcome, everybody. This is Manny V, and we got Manny V Stories, episode 15. And this week, we're going to talk about my photos, my trip to Puerto Escondido back in 2011 for that first Puerto Escondido World Tour stop on the, gosh, what was it, the APB? I think it was the APB. You know what? There's so many acronyms, I'm totally lost, but I do remember and I do have proof of having an amazing time there. So, I mean, yeah, Puerto Escondido is one of those magical places where you are going to have your first experience of, of some type. It's going to be your first epic barrel, your first time, you know, meeting and possibly hooking up with a beautiful European woman, because it's such a central hub for tourists and surfers and bodyboarders that it is just one of those epicenters where it is friggin' pretty amazing. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked. What's up, Tuttle? Well, welcome to Manny V's story. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about my photos and my trip to Puerto Escondido. So why don't we get into it? I do have gosh, maybe 60 to 70 photos in my slideshow. So why don't we just get into it? And I'm just going to be popping up photos. I'll let it run on the slideshow. And yeah, check it out. I got my notes and everything here. But this is Kim Feast. Like the whole bodyboarding community converged on Puerto Escondido back in 2011 for an epic event. And a lot of people showed up to compete. And, you know, whenever they got a chance, they were able to sneak in a session or two. And I love taking photos in the water. I mean, that is my passion right under riding waves. And so when you have the opportunity to shoot some of the best bodyboarders in the world at one of the best breaks, of course, I'm going to go out there and take photos. I think back then, yes, I did have my water housing and my Canon 7D, and I was just clicking away. This is Kim Feast. I think he won the world title that year or the year before, but obviously he knows what he's doing. So yeah, Feasty on a sick one. Um, I'll leave my notes right there. How's that? But yeah, he was out there just fully charging on the knee. The waves, I mean, they look freaking doable and rideable, but just the takeoff itself is pretty insane. You know, like it's just dropping in, and if you can hold an edge, then you're able to get slotted on some of the sick waves that roll through, like this one from Ken Feast. And I think I have like a whole folder of Feasty pulling into the barrel, but I know for sure. I just wanted to make sure you guys saw at least one sick one, and I pulled two of them out. So yeah. Oh yeah, Tuttle. That was Barracuda from his Los Cabos, his trip to Cabo Freak Fest, and yeah, it was sick. He came out and he was a rapper, or he is a rapper, and he came out. He's a bodyboarder too, and he came out and just freaking came up with this incredible song and talked about the bodyboarding scene in Cabo. So here's another shot of Feasty, and yeah, just getting slotted after wave. Pretty epic. And then yeah, this is still the main break. This is Zicatella. And I think this is Damien, a drop near as well. Gosh, I don't know exactly where he's from, but yeah, Damien was out there friggin' charging as well. And this thing was a bomb. As you can tell, the tide was a little high, so it wasn't really top to bottom barrels. It was more almond shaped, but still just gaping barrels coming through, which was pretty insane. So this is Damien on the knee pulling into this big old gutter, and you can see how big it is once it gets closer to, you know, the closeout. But yeah, he got a bomb, and I think I may have got a few more of him like just freaking getting pitted out of his mind. But Damien was out just getting pitted. Who was that photographer? There was a few photographers that were in the water just shooting everybody. Cesar Bauer was also there. I think, gosh, Feasty won the pipe event. And yes, the IBA. Thank you, Tuttle. Um, the Yeah, so Bauer, I think maybe may have won the 2010, 2011. Where's Jackson when I need him? But Cesar Bauer uh, pulled off a win, a world title in one of those years, the IBA years. And yeah, it was pretty incredible to watch him, go through the ranks and pull off a world title to bring home to his home country. And I seen footage of him at his home break called Playa Hermosa, just freaking going freaking bonkers. Huge, huge drops, huge waves. And yeah, Cesar Bauer just getting slotted. That's Kirill and Bladum. Adam was actually there, so it was a really cool, fun time. What's up, Team Koki? Bodyboarders in the house. Jobless, of course. Damien and Kim Feast in the back of, I think that was Clive. That was Clive's truck that we were in, just cruising around town and looking for waves. Kirill, a crew of bodyboarders from Israel were on hand, but this kid was just charging and getting slotted all over the place. But Kirill was always fun, always happy and smiling. And we lined up for a few. And this wave is actually not the main break, but as you can see, there's no buildings. This was Colorada, Playa Colorada, which was about a 15 to 20-minute taxi ride from the main town, from downtown Puerto Escondido. And you had to take a taxi. It was a main road and then turn off, and you had a dirt road for about 5-10 minutes. And yeah, you just come up to this beautiful wide open beach that has a little outcrop of rocks, which made perfect sandbars for one of the best, bodyboarding waves in Mexico, in my opinion. And yeah, Playa Colorada, Punta Colorada was freaking amazing for photos, for riding, big pits and just ramps at the end of that too. So yeah, that was freaking an amazing. I think I got like 4 days at Punta Colorada, and guys like this, Ardiel Jimenez from the Canary Islands, he was always down to take photos. And gosh, I remember this day, there was only a handful of people out there, but Ardiel locking into a sick one. And these are all my photos. This is me having fun in the water. But if you can hold your rail and get in the pit, my goal was try to get shots like this from Adiel Jimenez. One of my favorite water photos is of Adiel Jimenez on the island of Gran Canaria in the Canary Islands. And it was just one shore break place, and it was just firing. George Golomer from Puerto Rico. He was also, going for a world title. He entered every event. I don't remember the best result he had, but obviously he knew how to ride. It was just, one of those guys that you see everywhere at every event. And he was the coolest, humble, super cool guy, and was always hospitable, always helped, always was there. He was the guy you want to go on a bodyboard trip with, because he's all about making sure, yeah, he always was there to be helpful. Like, I would definitely go on any trip with Jorge Colomer. And yeah, Colo is super humble. Ardiel Jimenez is, yeah, he's been living in Puerto Rico for a while now. This is Kirill showing his gyro leash going into a full-on surf leash. A couple of the guys in the water at Colorado. Yeah, there was nobody there for some reason. I think maybe a handful of people. And there was like maybe 2 or 3 peaks. This is Kirill. This is one shot of the sequence. It was so sick. He actually engaged that rail and held onto it. Stewart would have had that inside rail planted on the board, but still a sick shot. Here's another shot of Kirill hitting the lip. There he is, super stoked. Yeah, pumped. I think he's married with a kid now in Israel. But Bobby Quinones, of course. I'm like, Bobby, go freaking get barreled with a snorkel. And of course he did. And look how freaking wide this thing was. Like, super wide gaping barrel. I'm gonna put a pause on that. Can I zoom in on that? Oh, you know what? I don't want to mess with anything. But Bobby Quinones is one of those bodyboarders that is not afraid to pull into the barrel. In fact, one of the days after the event ended, I'm pretty sure it was in 2011, maybe 2012, Bobby Quinones went out there and was paddling into these ginormous, huge barrels. while everybody was done with the contest, the waves were still firing. And while everybody was getting on the beers and, smoking weed and having a good time because the contest was over, Bobby was out there just charging and just pulling into these huge bear. I'm talking like 15, 20-foot faces, like huge. And Bobby had no problem finding the corners and finding the barrels and getting slotted out of his mind. That's what I remember pretty clearly of what Bobby Quinones was doing while everybody else was drinking beers. So yeah, that was freaking amazing to see him out there doing what he does. This was the opening ceremony for the contest. I'm pretty sure it was in conjunction with the contest, but Soul Beer put together this huge stage, and yeah, it was right before the contest. There's Damien, Micah McMullen and his wife, Kim Feast, and I forgot who was in the back there, but yeah, full live band on the beach, huge stage, and yeah, it was pretty amazing. Pretty freaking amazing to welcome everybody with a freaking party on the beach. Bladum and Michelle Rosen were there, so that was cool. And Bladum was there just to be partake in the festivities and watch an epic contest. And Michelle was there. I think she ended up being hired on the IBA to either do communication or masseuse as well. She did have a degree in that. A couple of the local boys in Mexico. Yeah, it was pretty epic to just get everybody together. Obviously, you're not going to see some of the top riders there getting faded. Um, that's a great shot. But let me go back one really quick. So this is Monica, Adriana, and Clive. Adriana and Clive, they actually they own a hotel. I'm wondering if they still do. So Monica and Adriana are friends, and Clive and Adriana own and operate Aqua Luna. Well, they did back then. I haven't been back in a while, so I'm wondering if they are still running Aqua Luna. But Clive is a bodyboarder. Adriana is just freaking awesome. And yeah, they were very, very awesome to us. If you know if the Aqua Luna is still there, let me know. But yeah, freaking good people. And yeah, just more fun with the crew. That was a pretty awesome night of partying. And just some of the typical food: whole fish on the plate with rice. Clive enjoying his lunch on the beach. And this guy was the man behind the events. I think there was two. Um, yeah, he is the man. He owns and operates Colorado Surf Shop on the main break, and he was the one that was putting everything together to make the event happen. So it was very, very cool to see him just working his ass off. And yeah, that's his bus back in the day, just putting everything together. And I'm sure he got a few gray hairs. Oh, yeah, let me go back really quick. This is, if you haven't been to Mexico, I'm sure they're probably everywhere else, but look at the bottles of broken glass cemented to the top of the wall. That is, instead of using barbed wire, that is their method of keeping people out. Uh, and it works. I mean, it's straight up just, it looks like Sprite. Bottles, glass bottles broken up and then cemented on the top. Yeah, I wouldn't want to try to climb that for sure. No way. But yeah, that's one way of keeping people out. Yeah, so we're at his shop, Colorado Surf Shop. And yeah, this is it. This is God, one of the coolest sunsets I've ever experienced, even to this day, was here in Playa Zicatela. I mean, I remember so clearly the sun was setting and everything went red. Everything turned like this weird red light. It was incredible. It's such a tropical area, and when the sun's dropping, it's just reflecting off of the mist and the clouds, and everything just turned this. You look around and everything was just had a pink hue to it. It was freaking phenomenal. Yeah, and that was in the 90s when I went back with when I went to Puerto Escondido with my friends from Imperial Beach. But yeah, there's I'm pretty sure that is from Clive's hotel called Aqua Luna. It's set back off the beach, which is smart. And he's set up on the hillside a little bit, so you get a view of the entire beach. Super awesome. Aqua Luna. If you want a freaking cool place to stay, that's a good one. And I think that is the last photo. But yeah, the IBA 2011 event was pretty sick. So yeah, now it's starting to replay. But there it is. Just a few photos. I mean, I have hard drives full of photos, but I wanted to pick just a handful out just to show you guys how incredible it was, be able to shoot some of the top riders that were there. Like I do have a lot of land photos of everybody else, like Mitch and Ryan and the whole crew that were there too. But I wanted to show you a couple photos when I was in the water. So thanks again for you guys chiming in and hearing just a few of my stories of that trip to Puerto Escondido 2011. A couple things before we say bye. Water Bean Warehouse. That's where you can get cool t-shirts like this Pat Codwell, Aaron Lloyd shot of him at Pipeline. You can go to waterbeanwarehouse.com and pull up some book life stuff and also some you riding gear and a lot of imagery, ton of imagery. That is, waiting for you to pick up. Big shout out to my Pipeline patrons at booglife.com. Yeah, these guys have been supporting from, gosh, I don't know how long, and I can't thank you guys. This is these are the Pipeline patrons. They're the top tier, the ones that, support as much as they can. I do have the T Street patrons and off the wall patrons as well. So thank you all for supporting. We did have a new interview. If you haven't seen it yet, it was from a legendary bodyboarder in South Africa, Sasha Talyard. Pretty cool stories went down. So the audio and video are there and available. If you haven't already seen it, go to booglife.com and check it out. And yes, Mazatlan Freak Fest is let's see, something's brewing for May 2027. I can't say it now. If you're a Pipeline patron, I may drop a couple seeds to let you know what's happening in May 2027. I wanted to do the Mazatlan Freak Fest in May, but that might be pushed to just before May or early June before we go to Indonesia. So that is I don't know exactly when we're going to do Mazatlan, but we're doing it. Cesar is so pumped. He's ready to have everybody there. He's the guy on the wave and he owns a restaurant down there. So he's ready to have us. Chris, be ready for Mazatlan Freak Fest, brother. Might happen before we head over to Indonesia, or it might be back to back with Cabo. I don't know. We're going to find out. But definitely Indonesia in June. And that's Chris right there. We've been talking about it for a while. I think it's time to put it on the calendar and we will do it. So June 2027, bodyboarders, we're going back to Indo. Be ready for that. Yeah, this is the reason why, because it's freaking epic. There's Chris, Teddy T, there's Billy, and yeah, the Mario and the whole crew. Billings, Chris Billings. Shit, is it Billings? Oh my God, Chris. I know I got his last name. He's gonna hate me for not remembering his first name. Son of a gun. But yeah, Indonesia is going down, and yeah, there it is. This was a time we were partying down there, but we're not going to party as much. We are going to have some bintangs, but yeah, Brett Billings. Got it. Thank you. But yeah, there it is. Indonesia. It's happening. So be ready for that. Woo! There it is. You guys, thank you again for chiming in for Manny V Stories. A few photos from the 2011 trip to Puerto Escondido. And yeah, I can't wait for 2027. Next week, I'll dive back into the hard drives and pull out some more photos of things that went down. I think I had Cabo Freak Fest video 1. I think there's a Cabo Freak Fest video 2 from Ryan McGukin. So I'm going to pull those up and yeah, we'll see you next week. from Kauai. I will be leaving to Kauai for the Garden Island Boogie Board Classic. That's happening this weekend. JG and his family are heading out on, gosh, Wednesday, I think. I'm heading out on Thursday, and I'll be there for the event. Please let me know who you want to see interviewed. I'm taking all my podcast gear. I'll be doing a lot of interviews while we're at the event. I'll pull some people aside to interview them, some old school guys and the new school guys too, and girls. So yeah, very pumped to sit down with a lot of these people. I'm going to take one day and just knock out a bunch of interviews. So be ready for that. And I'll be in Kauai on Monday. So we'll be doing Manny V stories from Kauai. And then I get back on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, I hit the road with Jordan. Jordan and I are going to drive the Baja Mobile down to Cabo, and I'll have my Baja Mobile, the Suburban, and we'll be, riding all over friggin' Los Cabos for Cabo Freak Fest in that thing. And then my surfers come in, and I'll be using that too for the next 2 weeks with the surfers. Then I'll be getting on a plane and heading to Brazil to represent the U.S. Along with my fellow teammates for the U.S. to the kneeboard world titles. So yeah, that's happening at the end of August, and I'll fill you guys in more about that later. You guys, thank you so much for chiming in. I hope you guys enjoyed some photos from Porto. All right, I'm out of here. Thank you guys for chiming in. Koki, Chris, Tuttle. See you guys.